Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm about to take you through how to make good liquid soap for general purpose at home, washing plates, dishes and all that. Now don't worry, I'll take you through every step one by one. Please do like, share, subscribe, and if you're first time comer, please like, share, subscribe and join the channel. Okay, so now let's start. Now when you go to buy these things, usually they number them. The buyers don't usually care about the name. So this is was numbered number 2. You can see the way it looks. The second one too was numbered number 2 because they are going to be combined together. So the first stage of soap production is you're going to be preparing some of these chemicals and keeping them aside. So the first thing is to prepare them down. Now all these things we are going to be mixing, we'll leave it for about 1 hour at least before we start mixing everything together like you saw me do. So this is number 2, is a gelatinous substance, and you mix it. If I can, I'll put the name, the real name, but they'll always tell you that you don't need to know those names. So you just put it, they just number it for you so that you're able to mix it up. But if you want to know the name, I could put it down there, or you could make the research on your own. So mix both of them together. The number 2 is labeled that way so that you're able to follow through the process easily. So you mix them together, stir, mix them together. So you can see I was putting it gradually while stirring it together. Now sometimes this, if you're number 2, because the purpose of this second, the liquid one that I'm putting is to make this, it adds to the lathering of the soap. That was me trying to make sure I get out everything. So it adds to the lathering of the soap. So if the number 2 is not enough, this liquid one is not enough, you will get a thick solution, or probably it has to do with the quality, I don't know, because all the time I did it and it got very thick. So what I did was, when I got to the point of combining everything, now I added some of the liquid into it. I'll still explain that so you won't get to that point. So this is the next mixture. We're going to mix this number 3 with water. Now in all, we're trying to make 25 liters or 20 to 25 liters of liquid soap. So we're going to take some of the water. For this now, you see the quantity of water I'm going to add. This is number 3, it's number 3. And when we come to combining, we'll still follow the same order of their numbers, though that's not necessary. Since if you've mixed them down, you could just put them one after the other, or you follow the order of the number if you could remember, because sometimes when you've mixed them, you might not really know which one is number. Like this number 2, of course it's obvious, the number 2 is obvious, you know that okay, I'm putting in number 2. But for others that will mix in with water, it might be difficult to distinguish between them. So for this I had number 3. Now this number 3 is, the work is to make this for washing. So I got extra. I always tell my seller that I need extra. I don't just want to do the regular one that they do for the public. So you have to ask for extra of certain things, like extra foaming, extra washer, fabric and all that. So for me, I asked for extra, and so that's why you see me using double of some of these things, but they don't sell it that way. So please, very important, remember to wear a nose mask. I forgot to mention that. use a nose mask before you start this mixture. I'm going to make sure I put it there. Use a nose mask and then wear gloves. I'm not usually comfortable with gloves, so you see my hand is wet. I keep washing it from time to time. So that was me adding water to the mixture, and that water, that's 1 liter of water. So I just measured it in liters just to help me remember the quantity I've used, so that I don't end up adding too much water into the detergent. But of course, if it's for your own personal use, you may just keep the strict measurement, just gauge it and all that. Just make sure your final addition of water is not too light. And you know one good thing about this soap is that you can use it for all purpose. With those in the dry cleaning industry, they use it as their bar soap. So when they're washing colored clothes, that's what they use. And when they're washing white clothes, they use the regular detergent, the powder detergent. So you could do that too in your home, but if you want to use it for white, of course, by all means you can. So you see now, how many liters of water is that? Just use enough water to make sure it's well dissolved and combined. So you see, those brown things are just infused from what I used when I was mixing number 2s together. So it doesn't really matter. After some time, everything will just combine nicely, and you won't even see any stain like this. You don't have to start rinsing your wood each time. So you see now we have used 2 bowls, so you keep counting 2 containers, so to say, 2 buckets. So you need about 4 buckets in all just to mix up these things. So please make sure you combine it, mix it thoroughly, so that there are no lumps. Just make sure it is well dissolved. See, that was me checking to make sure everything is nice and well combined. Please do like, share, subscribe for more content. Help me push this content out there so that others will learn from it. Please do like, do share, do subscribe to my channel. Give us your support and encouragement, and God bless you. Now we'll move to number 4. Number 4 again, we're going to be combining number 4 with water. So number 4 feels like salt. So we're going to be combining this with water. I pray I do have a time before I post this video to look for their names, but I also could research, because most of these sellers, they do not like to release the name. They'll tell you, what do you want to know with the name? Okay, if you want to know the name, come and pay me. You know, I learned this thing. So I kept rinsing my hand because that number 4 was tingling. Each of them, once I just finished opening them, I rinse my hand. So to this, we're going to also add some liters of water. I think I use like 2 liters of water for this. Remember, this water we are using is going to be like a reduction, a minus from the overall mixture of the overall liters we want to make. So right now we've already used like 4 liters. So just keep using some. Like I said, if you don't want to bother yourself measuring it, you could just gauge it. But please do measure the overall quantity of water, probably a bucket or something. You could just measure the water down. If you don't have smaller containers like that, take the measurement to probably in a keg or somewhere, and then you'll be scooping from there to do your mixture. You won't add more than this 1 liter, whatever, just make sure is what you did. So this is number 5 now. This number 5, yeah, it looks like rice, so I think they call it rice. It's really foamy, so it adds also to the foam. This is not as stingy as the rest, but still I just kept rinsing my hands so nothing destroys my finger. So to this we're going to add again, water to it, to number 5. Add water to number 5, and that will be our 4th bucket. Preparing the solutions down. So remember what I said, when we finish mixing all these things, we wait like an hour to the combination process. So into this I poured the remaining, so I'd use about 5 liters of water while mixing. So now I'm adding like 20 liters of water. You could do less if you want your soup to come out really thick, so there's no judgments to that. And of course, if it's very thick, when you want to use it, you can still dilute it. So now let's combine it. So remember, we never talked about number 1 before. So number 1 is going in now. Number 1 is powder. So just as if you're making semo, as you're pouring it in, you stir it so it doesn't form lumps. As you're pouring it in, you stir it. As you're pouring it in, you stir it gradually. So for now, since we've gotten to this stage, I'm going to just make the video faster so we don't waste time, because this took some time. Just trying to be careful that it doesn't form lumps. So as you're pouring, you could do more than I did. I was just trying to be very careful. So as you pour it in, you stir. You pour it in, you just keep stirring, just like you do semo, until everything dissolves. Then you still stir for some time until everything is well combined. So I'll just allow you watch and enjoy the rest of the video. So there's really nothing much to say again, okay? If there's need to talk, to say something, I'll come in, but just enjoy the music while you watch. Remember, use your nose masks to protect yourself from the harsh smell, because you might think it doesn't matter, but those things get into your nostrils. It's like drinking it, the powder. So it gets into your nostrils and into your stomach and into your bloodstream and all that. So please, let's protect ourselves by making sure you use what's it called, a nose mask. And so at this point, we just combine the ingredients in their numbers. There's another one, number 7, is also for extra boosting. That one is liquid form. It's like a gel, not gel really, like starch. I don't know how to, it's like lighter gel. You don't need to mix it down. Number 7 just goes in like that. Just pour it in without mixing it. So according to the number, so you see that's number 1 that's gone in. And the next thing, so you stir thoroughly. You stir rigorously until you're okay that it has mixed well. I think my stirring was even too much, but I just was trying to be careful that it doesn't form lumps. So the next thing is to mix your number 2 into it and stir. So like I said, if your number 2 is too thick, the combination, probably your seller gave you too much gel, or maybe it's the quality. I don't really know what causes that sometimes. So what you do now, you scoop some of this into the bucket and stir to lighten, because when you pour it into this big bowl, it will be difficult for you to break it down to mix it because it's very thick. Now I did it once and it was thick like amala. So what I had to do was I'll scoop some of the water that I already mixed my number one with. I pour it into the bowl, into the bucket, and stir. That way it's easy to lighten it up. I kept doing that, adding water, stirring in the bucket, not in the big bowl. So that way I could control, just like I did now, but this was just me trying to get off all this. So if you have it that is so thick, this number two mixture, so you put your bucket on the floor, put your wood inside, add water from here, and keep stirring to lighten it up. Keep adding water and stirring until you get a lighter consistency. Then you can pour it in here. So that way it's easier for you to mix. Because if you just pour it in here, it will stress you to dissolve it. So take note of that, so that you do not get into that stance and then you don't know what to do. So just do that. Mix the water into the bucket where you have the number two combined and stir it till it becomes lighter. If it's not light enough, add more of this water into it and keep stirring. So you can see now, because it was light, everything has combined nicely. So that's number two. So you can go ahead, even though it's not all, listen, there's still like some particles in it, but don't worry, over time they'll all be done. So now we add the number three, just like that. Number four, number five, number six, number seven. So number six, number seven, then you add your, of course I know that is you add your number 8, which is like the moisturizer. That one is gel like, you don't use too much. Some people don't even use it, but it helps to moisturize your hand. I'm trying to remember, if I remember the name I'll put it down there. That one helps to moisturize your hand and protects the fabric, so it's very important. But most of the ones they sell in the public, they don't use that, because even if you don't use it, it will not be obvious. You wouldn't know it wasn't used. It doesn't affect the overall quality of the soap, so to say. But then absence of it makes your skin, you see people's hands are peeled because they did not use that thing, or they did not use enough of it. So it's very, very important we use that. I'm going to look for the name and put it somewhere in the video. So let me just allow you view. So at this stage there's really nothing much, just to keep adding every other one. Add the preservative, add the color if you want, so you just keep adding everything together and the soap is ready. So I'll just allow you watch while I just stay quiet and play you some music. So please do like, share, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you so much. God bless. once again, like I said, these things are numbered by the sellers. If your sellers doesn't, tell them to number it. So after the number 5, you're going with number 6. After the number 6, you're going with number 7. And finally number 8. So if you don't number those 3, that means the order doesn't really matter. So just put them in. I think some people don't number the perfumes and all that. So now you see I've added almost everything, remaining just the perfume and the coloring. So that was me adding the perfume. Now for the perfume, some people scoop some into a bowl and then add it, but it doesn't really matter. You can add it directly into the whole soap and just there. So for me, I usually do a combination of fragrance, or I use just lemon, but you can use whatever appeals to you, people, or whatever fragrance you want. It's just fragrance. Now I'm going with my mixture. I'd mixed this with water. Well, I thought I'd shared the video where I mixed it with water. So just add your color to water first to dissolve it, because it was a powdered color I got. So if you have the liquid one, there's no need to mix. So don't put too much, so that the color, your desired color, will be what you get. So you see those black things still floating around. They don't matter. Over time, they will dissolve. So that was the cause. That's why I said that was because there were a little bit of lumps when I mixed my number 2. So it's that is floating around. So, but if you mixed, like I said, scoop some of the liquid where you had mixed number 1 and 2, pour it into the number 2 in the bucket, stir it, make sure every lump is broken. But these lumps is majorly the ones that were hiding in the corners. So I think maybe I use my finger to scoop them out and then put it in the mixture. But no worries, they will all dissolve and your soup will come out nice. So at this point, everything is well combined. Just trying to get the consistency, the color I need. So you leave it to rest for everything to, should I use the word marinate? Everything's just come together. So maybe in like an hour or so, you can start using your soap, because the soap is ready for use. Please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Stay blessed. See you in my next one. Bye-bye.